Hello everyone, welcome to the Archipelago live stream. Hope you're all doing well, wherever you're tuning in from, whatever time of day it is. We've got some awesome stuff lined up for this live stream. But let me know you're here, jump in the chat. Let me know where you're tuning in from and how your day's been. For those of you that don't know, I'm Liam. I'm one of the Archipelago developers. And I'm based in the UK. And it's evening time here. We've just had a really nice sunset. It's actually been a really lovely day today. 26 degrees Celsius, so very warm. So I'm trying to stay hydrated. Michaela, Alaska, what an incredible place. That's one place I would absolutely love to visit. I was actually debating going there a few years ago, but I ended up choosing the Faroe Islands instead, but it was very close to being Alaska. But welcome to the stream. Melissa, tuning in from Dallas. Glad to hear you're having a beautiful day. Johanna in Finland, another beautiful country I'd love to visit. Sunny fall day. Yeah, you know what? Autumn is approaching fast. I was out for a walk yesterday and there's just leaves all over the ground, leaves falling everywhere. Also, let me know if this is the first time you've tuned in for one of these live streams. I'll run you through how they work in just a moment. I always like to know when people are new around here. We've got these gorgeous images that we're going to be editing with today. Massive thank you to the incredible photographers. You're going to see the names of those as we go through and do the editing. And we're going to be editing with an incredible set today, which is Quest 8 Nomad Special Edition set. Super excited for this stream. Absolutely amazing set. Oh, amazing. We've got people tuning in from Indiana, USA, Jordan. Wow, incredible. Melissa says first time tuning in. Thank you so much for joining. Ottawa, Canada, Sean, one of our team members. Greetings from Maine as well. So just to give you an idea of how this stream works, like I said, we're going to be editing with Quest 8 Nomad Special Edition set today. Incredible set, we'll go through that in a moment. But the way that this works is we're going to go through the images that you see on screen here. When we go in and start the editing process, you're going to see the photographer's name in the top left along with the settings that they use to capture the image. So if you're interested, you can see that up at the top left there as we go through. And the way that I like to work with these is rather just going through in order. I'd like to know which images you want to see me edit next with this set. So if you take a look in the top left of each of these thumbnails, you're going to see a number 1 through 10. We've got 10 amazing images we're going to edit today. So just let me know which image you want to see edited next by just putting the number in the chat. I'll keep an eye on that. And as we go through, we'll do it in the order that you want to see. So if you spot an image, you're like, oh, I'd love to see that one edited next. Just let me know which number and we'll edit that one next. In other news, let me just quickly switch back to this. You might have seen these incredible things floating around in some images. Well, we're going to be giving away at least one of these coveted mugs, the Archipelago Quest mug, to someone that's live on the stream, interacting as we go through. So all you need to do is be here live, interact in the chat as we go through. And at the end of the stream, we'll be announcing someone to win an Archipelago Quest mug. So definitely stick around for that. And not only that, we're going to be taking a sneak peek at Quest 9, which is another very special set. So we're going to take a look at that after we've gone through these images as well. So definitely stick around till the end. I can see some numbers being thrown in there already, which is great. So do let me know what you want to see. Looks like 10's the first image to be called up. So we'll take a look at that one shortly. Also, just in other news as well, like if you have any questions as we go through this, whether that's sort of editing tips or techniques or anything that you're unsure of, any questions at all, throw them in the chat. If it's something I can answer, I'll try and answer that. If not, we've got some of our other team members that will be here in the chat as well, so I'm sure they can support if it's something that I can't answer, but do ask the question if you have it as we go through the stream. Okay, cool. So we'll dive in and start editing. We've had requests already for images, so 10 and then 9 are the first 2 that we're going to edit. I'm just going to start off with 1 just so I can show you the set. I'll walk you through this set of presets, and then we'll jump in and start editing the rest of the images. We'll do 10, 9, and then whatever you want to see after that. Awesome. So Archipelago Quest 08 is a special edition Nomad extension set. So if anyone is familiar with the Nomad Archipelago set, incredible set, really gorgeous presets, really unique look. It had a profile that I absolutely adore called Summerfield's, really amazing profile. Well, this adds to that. It's an extension of that set with 4 brand new color presets and also a brand new profile, which is arguably even nicer than the incredible Summerfield's profile. So we'll walk through that in a moment. A couple of tools in there as well, which you're going to find really useful. So we've got this gorgeous image by Candice. We're going to go ahead and edit this now. Looking at it, I think it pretty much doesn't need anything. Like the white balance looks spot on. The exposure, maybe bring it up a tiny touch, but really nicely captured raw in camera here. So a great one to start with. So let me just walk you through each of the presets in this set, starting off with AQ081 Nomad Se. And straight away, if you're familiar with Nomad, you're going to see those incredible Nomad tones in this set as we go through. And if you're not familiar with Nomad, if you haven't used the Archipelago Nomad set, and this is your first introduction to these tones and you really like it and you'd like to get more, just a reminder that if you are a Quest subscriber, on the Quest members homepage there is a discount code for the full Archipelago sets. So if you really like Quest 8 and you want to get more of these amazing tones, then you can get that code, head over to archipelagopresets.com, and you can snag yourself a discount of 30% off the full Nomad set and add even more to your collection. So this is preset 1. Let's work through the rest of the set. AQ082. Really gorgeous. Slightly less contrast. It's got this kind of really nice green tone in, a very slight matte to it. Really lovely. AQ083, a bit more desaturated, just kind of more subtle in the toning, and slightly cooler as well. And then AQ084, which is, I think, could be my favorite in this set. Really nice green tones, nice contrast level. It's quite a moody looking preset. So we've got loads to play with here, lots of diversity, even just across these four presets. So let's go ahead and we'll edit with preset 1 for this. But I'm going to draw your attention up to the top right here where the creative profile sits. So for this set, you get the Equinox profile, which is incredible. Like, I love the Summerfield's profile in the Nomad set. Really great. I love throwing that on and mix and matching it with other presets as well. But Equinox, in my opinion, is even better. It's such a nice preset. So you can see it's set as 100 as default. So right in the middle there. So it gives you flexibility to scale that back or increase it if you like. But we actually have a couple of profile adjustment presets in this set. So just here you can see NSE, Equinox Vernal and Autumnal. And what this basically does is it adjusts the profile to 2 predefined places. So if I go to Vernal, if you hover over it, you'll see the image becomes a little bit cooler. There's less contrast there. And what that's actually doing is it's setting Equinox across to 30. So it's just bringing the profile across to a set place. And this is imitating the colors and tones that you would experience in spring, like early spring. And then we have Autumnal, which I'll give that one a click. You can see it sets it to 135. And this is going to mimic the tones that we see around this time of year. If you're in the northern hemisphere, where you're starting to head into autumn, and we get that really nice, rich, warm toning. So great to have these as profile adjustment tools. If you know that with a set of images you want to go through and you want to go for a cooler edit, you can apply each of the different presets and then just simply hover over and click on Vernal, or if you prefer the warmer look, you can click on Autumnal. Of course, you can go up here and you can adjust it manually yourself, but just nice to have that workflow where you can just click the preset you want and then click to adjust the profile toning. So for this, I'm going to go for Autumnal. Let's go for those nice warm colors. I think it really suits this really well. And then we've got two other tools in this set. We have Diffuse and we have Specular. So Diffuse just adds a soft haziness to the image, similar to using a diffusion filter. You might have experienced this before if you use Quest 1. Quest 1 has a diffusion filter profile built in. Really great set if you want to take a look at that. The diffusion profile is really, really nice. But here you have it as a tool, so you can just soften up the image. If you see there, I'll go ahead and zoom in. So give it a second to load. And you'll see it in a moment once it catches up. So you can see it's just reducing the contrast levels there a little bit. It's softening up the image. The details are a little bit softer there. So really nice effect. I pretty much throw this on everything. I love it. And then the other tool that we have is Specular, and this is just going to add more contrast to the image in terms of the definition of the highlights and the shadows. So you can see there, it just pops those highlights. It just makes the image a little bit more contrasty. Pushes the black tone in there as well. So really great if you have an image that is lacking a little bit in contrast. You can just go in and apply the Specular tool, and that's just going to give it a little bit more pop and a bit more punch there as well. So that one was edited with AQ08 preset 1 Nomad Se. We've used the autumnal adjustment to the Equinox profile, so we're up here at 135. We've added Diffuse for a bit of softness, and we've added Specular to give us more pop. So here is the before, and here's after. So really, really nice transformation. And like I say, if you are a fan of Nomad, if you've been using it before, you're really going to see those Nomad tones shine in this set here as well in Quest 08. There's the side by side. I'll go ahead and zoom in on the couple there. Love the blue toning in the shirt here. Skin tones rendered really nicely. Awesome, so we'll go ahead and we'll edit 10 next, then we'll do 9. And then if you let me know which images you want to see after that, I think we had 2 was one of the ones that got called out by Melissa there as well. So let's do 10, 9, and then 2. If you want to see any of these other images edited, just shout out the number in the top left here. For anyone just joining, welcome. Thank you for joining the stream. I'm Liam, one of the Archipelago developers. It's great to have you here. Love doing these live streams. We do these at least once every month, so do come back and join these again in the future. We get the chance to showcase some of the amazing sets that we have, and this time around we've got Quest 8, which is a Nomad Special Edition set. Not only that, we're going to be giving away one of these incredible Archipelago Quest mugs at the end of the stream. All you need to do in order to be in with a chance of winning one of these is just be here during the live stream, interact through the chat as we go through the stream, and at the end we'll be announcing someone to win an Archipelago Quest mug. And then we're also going to be taking a look at Quest 9, a sneak peek at next month's Quest set as well. So lots of great stuff. So let's go ahead and edit 10. So really beautiful here, image here from Emma. We've got this nice forest with the couple in the middle here. So I'm just going to do a tiny little bit of straightening first. Somewhere around there. Let's bring the exposure up a little bit, and it definitely needs a little bit more warmth. I think somewhere around there looks good to me. Okay, let's take a look which of the presets we're going to use. It's AQ08.1. Ooh, that's nice. AQ08.2. 083. And then 4. And it's a tough call because these all look really, really nice. I think I like 3 on this. Just like how subdued the color toning is. I love the way it's rendering the greens here. So again, we've got the preset which sets Equinox to 100 as default right in the middle there. Let's take a look at the 2 profile adjustment tools we have here. So Vernal, which is going to give us those cooler tones. Slightly less contrast there as well. Just brings out a little bit of detail on the couple in the middle there. And then we have Autumnal, which we can see sort of blooms the highlights a little bit there. We get that really rich warmth, a little bit more contrast in the image, and some softness there as well. Now, it's a tough one because you could go either way. I think I'm liking Vernal on this, but let me know in the chat which you prefer. But I'm going to go Vernal, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to boost the temperature of the white balance a little bit more. So I'm going to bring in some warmth there, but I just like the way that it's rendering the colors. We could go really extreme and bring it right down. Actually, that looks really good. I'm going to go for Equinox all the way across to the left at 0. And I'm just going to boost the warmth a little bit just to make sure their skin tone's looking good. I'm going to bring the exposure up a tiny little bit. And that looks really, really nice to me. Here's the before, and here's after. And there's the side by side. Go ahead and zoom in. I just like the way it was bringing up the shadow detail when we had the profile across to the left, and also the way it was rendering the blue in his suit here as well. Super nice. Yeah, Ellie, I would agree. You said love 4 on that one with all the greens. Most of the time when there's a green background, 4 is the one. But I just felt for that one, just with the colours in the suits and things like that, I was just liking the way that preset looked. But yeah, for sure, the greens in 4 are super, super nice. All right, cool. Let's take a look at 9 next. Then we'll do 2, and then let me know after that which images you want me to edit after. I think someone shouted out 4 and then 6 further up as well. So I'll check back in the chat in a moment, but do throw in which ones you want to see. All right, so let's go ahead and do 9. This was actually submitted by the Archipelago community. Maria, thank you so much for sending this one in. Really beautiful photo. This one's shot on Sony by the look of it here. We've got 24mm lens. And it's gorgeous setup with a milk bath here. I love the little disco ball on the side as well. Very fun. Cool. So I'm going to bring the exposure up a little bit here. Definitely bring the temperature up a tiny little bit. Somewhere around there looks good to me. And let's take a look through the set. It's a tough one. I think it's got to be 4 for this. Again, because there's quite a lot of these plants, the foliage around, we've got some in the bath here, and also just the way that it's rendering the oranges, the colors look really, really nice. I'm going to go for AQ084. Let's take a look at the profile adjustment. We've got Vernal and we've got Autumnal. And I think it's got to be Autumnal for this. I just like the way that it's pushing a little bit of warmth into the image. Contrast levels look really nice there as well. Let's take a look at whether we're going to use any of these other 2 tools here. So Diffuse, I do quite like actually. I think it's just softening the image up in a really flattering way. So let's go for that. And then, oh, that's a tough one. I don't know whether to go for Specular or not. It looks really nice both ways. So it just depends whether you want it to be a little bit more flat or to have that pop that you're getting from Specular. I think I'm going to leave it as it is, because I do really like that. Let's take a look at the side by side. Really pretty. Let's go ahead and zoom in. Really, really gorgeous. Just love the way it's rendering all the colors here throughout the image, but especially those greens, just super, super nice. Like down here with the foliage in the bath here, just looks really, really pretty. Gorgeous image there, Maria. Thank you for sending that in. So I've just got to stay hydrated. It's been quite warm here today, so drinking plenty as we go through. All right, so we've done 1, we've done 10, we've done 9. I think 2 is next, then maybe 4 and 6, but let's have a look. So 2 is the next one. Let's take a look. Really beautiful image here. I'm going to bring the exposure up a little bit, and I think white balance looks actually spot on, so I'm going to leave that as it is. Let's take a look through the set, and and it's got to be 4 for this, I think. Again, we've got the greens in the background. It's just the way that it's rendering it. It kind of pushes those greens to just being a little bit darker, just a bit moodier. Desaturates them a little bit so they're not too harsh, but just brings the luminance of the greens down. And I think for this, especially just the way it pops the subject out, I'm definitely liking 4 for this. Okay, let's take a look. So we've got Vernal and we've got Autumnal. And it's a tough one. I'm going to go for a custom adjustment of Equinox for this, I think. I'm going to go for just something that's between Vernal and the default. So about there looks good to me. That's 65. And again, I could throw diffuse on absolutely everything. I just love that softer look. I have a tendency to use diffusion filters when I shoot, so I do like that kind of softer look. But again, personal preference. I don't think this image necessarily needs specular. It's got a good amount of contrast in there already. But again, personal preference, it's nice to have this versatility. You don't have to dive in and start adjusting, you know, tones and things in here. You've got the ability to just get a more contrasty look by using the specular profile, which is super nice. I think for this, actually, we could go for it. I'm just going to bring the highlights down a tiny touch. Yeah, that looks super nice. So here's the before and here's after. Really, really pretty. There's the side by side for you. A lot of love for 4 on this one. So Jen asks, is diffusion much different than atmosphere? Let's go ahead and try it, shall we? So if we do diffusion on this one, let's go ahead and create a virtual copy. And in this one, I'm going to go for, in fact, I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's undo that. We'll undo that. Let's create a virtual copy of that one. This one we'll use diffuse. This one, let's go into our Quest Tools Essentials. Again, for anyone that's new to Quest, the Quest Tools 02 Essentials Toolkit is a free toolkit. It's included with your Quest membership. So you can download this any month. So if you've just joined and you've only downloaded Quest 8 so far, you can go ahead and download Quest Tools 02 as well, the Essentials Toolkit. This has got things like lens corrections, auto transform tools, different grain levels, and then a tool called Atmosphere in here, which also softens the image. So you've got 3 levels of that in here. So we'll go ahead and I'll apply one that's kind of the closest, which I would probably say would be 2. And then let's side by side these with the reference view. Cool, so I'm going to zoom in to the same amount on both sides. Cool, there we go. So they've rendered out. So on the left, we have the tool that's within Nomad, which is Diffuse. And on the right, we have the Atmosphere. And if I go for Atmosphere 3, which is a stronger one, you can see the difference there as well. So there definitely is a difference. It just renders the contrast differently. You can see, I don't know how well it comes through on the stream, but I can definitely see on the screen there's a different level of contrast and detail in here. So they are 2 distinct tools. So it's, you know, it's nice to have both of them. Diffuse obviously being designed specifically for Nomad Se, but will work across multiple sets as well. So you kind of got the choice. But both look really nice, but there is definitely a difference looking at them there. Awesome, so let's just delete the virtual copies so that we're back to the same number we had before. All right, let's catch up. What number do we have next? Let me go back and have a look. 3, yeah, we'll do 3. 3, 4, and... Cool, 3 and 4. We'll do 3 and 4 next. So let me know what you want to see after that. Sorry if I've missed out one that you've asked for. It's hard to keep track. There's lots of you in here today, so thank you for joining. Right, let's do 3. Let's dive on in, take a look at this one. Really, really nice image here from Bruno. Love this. I think it's going to be a tough one in terms of the exposure level. Maybe just brighten it a tiny touch, but we'll see how it renders when I apply the preset. But I think the white balance looks good, so I'm going to leave that as it is. So AQ081, looking absolutely gorgeous with one click. Super nice. AQ082, again, love this one. I especially like the way that it renders the highlights. If you look at the sky at the top there, just really gorgeous. Get that nice sort of green tone in the sky, really nice. AQ083, a little bit cooler, a little bit sort of gentler in its toning. Very flattering. And then AQ084, get them really nice green tones in there. But I think for this, it's going to be 1. I really like the way that this is rendering the colors. I'm going to bring the exposure up a tiny little bit. Let's take a look at the profile adjustment for Equinox. We've got Vernal and we've got Autumnal. And I think I'm going to leave it as the default. I'm going to leave it at 100. I think that's really nice. It complements the image. Don't need to push too much warmth into it. Don't need to cool it down, so I'm happy with that. Let's take a look at Diffuse. No, I think I prefer it as it is. And then I don't think it needs Specular, no, because I like the way it's rendering the shadow here. Just because the sun's coming from the right, casting these shadows across, so that they're a little bit in shadow, and I like the way that it's rendering that. So I'm not going to apply either of the tools for this. I think I'm going to keep it simply as it is. So that's AQ081. Pretty much one click. I've slightly increased. There we go. Siri's joining in as always. Slightly increased the exposure and applied the preset, and that's pretty much it. So here's the before and here's after. Really nice transformation. And there is the side by side. Yeah, I agree with that, Jocelyn. If you use the diffuse tool on this, you're just losing a little bit of the contrast levels between their arms and the sky there. So I think it looks really nice as it is naturally. So we'll leave that one as it is. Really beautiful image from Bruno. Okay, so 4 was next, and then I definitely saw someone shout out they wanted 8 after that. So we'll take a look at 8 after 4. So really cool image. Couple in the sea here. It's raining, so much drama. First thing I'm gonna do is just straighten up that horizon line a little bit. Somewhere around there I think is good. But yeah, I love the texture in the water down here. It's a tough one in terms of white balance, but I think I'm gonna leave it as it is. And the exposure, I'll probably bring it down. But I'm gonna apply the preset first and we'll see how that sits. So this is AQ081. AQ082, AQ083, and 4, and that is a really tough one. I think I'm gonna go 2. I just really like the that toning that it's bringing into the image. We might need to play with it a little bit, but I'm gonna go for AQ082. Let's take a look at the profile. So we've got Vernal, Autumnal. It is a tough one. I'm going to go for a little bit of a custom edit, I think, on the creative profile. Let's take a look. Around there looks good to me. So that's just a slight increase from the default, 118, so just a little bit higher than the default. I'm not going to use diffuse on this because I like there's a bit of natural diffusion actually from the shot. Likely from the rain or from the sea mist, something like that. But it's kind of got a softness to it, and actually I don't want to lose any of the detail of the raindrops down in the water here. But let's take a look at Specular. I'm going to use Specular. I think it's just adding a good amount of contrast there. But I'm going to take a look at the exposure level. Just bring it down a tiny touch. So that's negative 0.22, so just a little bit down from how it was straight off camera, but that looks really nice to me. Yep, I am happy with that. You could go for a little bit more contrast if you wanted to kind of just pull them out a tiny little bit more. So I've just bumped it up to about 30 there. That looks really nice to me. Here's the before and here's after. Really nice. I love the mood. Yeah, so we've got divided opinion here. A few people saying 2 looks really nice with the tone in. 3 was called out. 4's been called out for the grey sky. So you can see, you know, the diversity shines through here. It just gives so much flexibility in this quest set. But I love the way this is rendering the colors in the water down here, just the amount of detail that we're pulling out. But we've still got that level of softness there. And then just that sort of muted greenish tone in the sky, just really, really nice mood. All right, let's dive into number 8 next. We've still got 5, 6, and 7 to go. So let me know which order you want to see these last few images. And then we're going to be taking a look at the next quest set, quest 9, and get a sneak peek at that after that. Let's take a look at 8. This is an absolutely stunning image. What an incredible landscape. So I'm just going to straighten this up a tiny little bit. Somewhere around there looks good to me. So dramatic, absolutely love this. I'm just going to bring in a little bit more warmth. And I think exposure wise, I'm not going to bring it up too much because I like the way that it's rendering the highlights and the shadows here. So let's just take a look at this. Wow, super nice. That's AQ81. Really, really nice mood. AQ082. 3 looks really good. That's AQ83. And then 4. This is going to be a hard choice. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let me know, shout out in the chat, which one do you think is the preset for this image? It is a difficult one. 1, 2, 3, or 4. I think I am between 4 and 1, personally. We've got a vote for 1, a vote for 3, another vote for 1. 1 is the one, says Sarah. I think you might be right. 1 and 3. It is a tough one. I think I'm going to go for 1. Seems to be the most popular choice, so let's go for that. AQ081. And I think we've got to go autumnal. I just love the way it's pushing in the warmth into the image. We're getting a little bit more contrast, which is looking really nice. And then we've got diffuse, which I think I'm going to go for. It just gives a little bit more of a painterly look to it. Just kind of softens the image up. If you take a look at the couple down here. And then we've got the Specular tool, which is going to add a little bit more punch to the image. And actually, I think this could work really well. So let's go for Specular. I'm just going to bring the exposure back down a little bit. So it just lifts up some of the shadow detail there. Just gives a little bit more punch to the highlights, which I think looks really nice. I think somewhere around there, which is basically, yeah, back to 0, exactly as it was shot. So this is the before, and this is after. This is with AQ081. We've set the Equinox profile to autumnal, so we're getting that lovely, warm, rich color from the profile. We've used diffuse just to soften the image up a little bit, and then specular just to give us a little bit more pop. Dreamy indeed, Unette. Dreamy indeed. And there's the side-by-side. Just love it. So we're getting this really nice level of contrast and detail. We've got this kind of plant texture down here, the rock texture, just the composition of the couple there, the incredible backdrop. What an image. What an image and what a preset. Okay, so we've got 5, 6, and 7. These are the images left, and then we're going to take a look at Quest 9. We'll also be announcing a winner for the Archipelago Quest mug. So let me know which images you want me to see editing next. Yeah, Specular is a really handy tool just for bringing out a little bit more of that detail, a little bit more contrast level, a bit more pop, but also lifting the shadows, brightening the highlights as well, and worked really well on that image. So Untitled says 7. Let's go ahead and do that one next. Awesome. So really, really nice photo here. I think we're just going to straighten up a tiny little bit. Just look in the window behind. A little bit of brightness. And a tiny touch more warmth. That looks good to me. Whoa, look at that. One click with Nomad Se AQ081. Love the tones from that. Here's 2. Again, super, super nice. 3. A little bit more subtle, a little bit more subdued. Really, really pretty. And then AQ084. So I think it's between 1 and 2 for this. And personally, I think 1 is just edging it for me a tiny little bit, just because I like the way that it's rendering the color in his shirt and in his trousers. And we're still getting that really nice rich orange toning in the background. Unette says 4. Yeah, it's a tough one. All right, I'm going to go for 1. Let's take a look at the profile. I think I'm going to leave it set as it is. I really like that. I'm not going to use diffuse for this because I think I like the level of contrast and detail we're getting in this. I don't think we need specular there either. I think that looks really, really nice as it is. Here's the before and here's after with AQ081. Basically 1 click, we've just increased the exposure a tiny little bit, increased the temperature a tiny little bit there as well. But that looks really, really nice. There's the before and after. If we zoom into the details, I just love the way it renders the browns in his shoes here, the colors in the ground and in the bench. Really, really nice. Okay, so let's rattle through these. I think 6, quite a few people shouted out, and then we'll do 5, and then we will take a sneak peek at the next Quest set. So this is image number 6. Really beautiful image from Shannon here. I'm just going to straighten it up a tiny little bit. Not too much, just about there, I think. And let's just add a tiny little bit more warmth to the image with temperature. Let's take a look. So this looks super nice, and I've got a feeling, yep, it's going to be another tough one. But I think 2 is standing out to me straight away. I really like the way that it's rendering the blues in the denim. The skin tones look really nice. I love the lip tone that's coming through there as well. Yeah, I think it's got to be 2. So let's take a look at that. We've got Vernal, we've got Autumnal, and it's going to be Autumnal. The pushing warmth looks really nice to me. I'm just going to bring the exposure down a little bit, just so I don't clip the highlights in the skin tone here. Diffuse we could use, but I think I prefer the level of detail. We've got these really nice strands of hair just running down the subject's face here. So I think we lose a little bit of that definition with diffuse. So I'm going to leave it as it is. And I don't think we need specular. We've already got a nice level of contrast in the image there. It's not a flat image, so I'm going to leave it as it is. So here's the before. And here's after. Really, really nice. And that was with the Autumnal profile tool. Brooke says she's a whole mood. I agree completely. What a mood. I don't know if I could pull that jacket off though. Willing to give it a try. Okay, cool. So we've got this last image up here, image number 5. Let's dive in, edit this one. Let's take a look. I'm going to bring the exposure up a little bit here. I'm going to add a little bit more warmth for the temperature there. That looks good to me. And let's take a look. And I've already got a winner. It's got to be AQ084 for this, because we've got those greens just in the background here, the green in her jumpsuit here, so I'm going to go for that. Let's bring the exposure up a little bit more, and let's take a look at the profile. I think I'm just going to do a tiny tweak of it using the slider up here. So I'm just going to bring it down a tiny little bit, about 72. That looks good to me. And let's take a look. Diffuse. Do we want to diffuse? Yeah, I really like that actually. So you can really see it's softening up the details here on this side, and also the background here. Shot on a 35mm lens, so the bokeh is f2, so it is, you know, a nice level of bokeh. But I think when you take a look at the background here and you look at diffuse, it just softens that up in a really nice way, similar to what you would get if you were shooting a longer focal length. Just reducing the details a little bit there as well. So diffuse, and let's take a look. I don't think we need to go specular. Again, we've got quite a nice contrast level. Yeah, I'm going to leave it as it is. That looks super nice to me. Here's the before and after. Really, really nice. Love that. There's a side by side. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for sticking around. If you've been here since the start, anyone that's just joined in, I'm Liam. Thank you so much for being here. This is one of the regular Archipelago live streams. We do these at least once every month. In this one, we've been taking a look at Quest 08, which is the latest release from our Quest subscription series. Quest is just $8 each month. It gets you a new set of presets. This month, it's Quest 8. If you sign up now, you can download this as part of your membership. And in a moment, if people want to see it, let me know in the chat. We'll take a look at next month's Quest set, which is Quest 09. And it's another special edition set. So let me know in the chat if you want to see a sneak peek at Quest 09. We'll take a look at that. While we're doing that, we're also going to pick a winner for the Archipelago Quest coveted mug. So if you're here and you're interacting in the chat, you are in with a chance. And we've got the winners actually. Congratulations to Jocelyn and Brooke. You each get the grooviest ever mug. There we go. Congratulations. You are each going to be getting one of these incredible mugs. Just email us at support and we'll get those across to you. Very, very exciting. Big congratulations. So a few people saying yes for 09. Give me a couple more yeses for 09 if you want to see it. If not, I'll just keep it away from you. Sneak peek. All right, should we do it? Let's do it. So I've got these 4 beautiful images here. 2 of these have been submitted by our community, so really gorgeous images here. And we're going to take a look at the next set that we'll be releasing next month. Very, very exciting. So let's dive in to Quest 09. So Quest 9 is an Atlas special edition set. So another special edition set. This one is an extension of the Archipelago Atlas set. Very, very loved set. Incredible, really beautiful tones, nice deep shadows and blacks. Really, you'll see in a moment, really nice warm toning as well. Very accurate colors. So it's a very popular set is Atlas, and you now have an extension in these 4 new Quest Atlas Special Edition presets. We've got 3 color and 1 black and white. We've got new profiles to go alongside, as well. So it's super exciting. So I've got this really beautiful image. I'm going to show this set off in a moment. So I'm just going to go ahead and bring up the exposure a bit here and add a little bit more warmth to the temperature. Somewhere around there looks good to me. And let's take a look at this. So, oh, Unette says Atlas is the only set missing in my collection. Well, Unette, you're going to want to get Atlas after you see Quest 9, and you can get Atlas to expand the set and have Quest 9 as well. But these are stunning. I love the Atlas set, but I think that these 4 presets are like the best of Atlas tones. So well done, Chris. Another incredible set. So look at that, AQ091 Atlas Special Edition. One click, we get really, really gorgeous green and yellow toning behind them. Really beautiful skin toning. The contrast level is super, super nice. Nice deep blacks. So that's preset 1. This is preset 2. So there's the difference, slightly warmer. Really, really gorgeous. This one that I've been throwing on a lot, AQ092, is a very, very nice preset. AQ093, we're getting that cooler tone in. Super, super nice. And then the black and white AQ094, which is absolutely stunning. And let me talk you through the profile here as well. So the profile for the color presets is called South. And you have 2 adjustments for this. You've got Southeast and Southwest. Southeast sets the profile to the left, and Southwest sets the profile across to the right. And what the profile does, it's really, really nice, is it gives a beautiful warmth. It mutes the highlights. It has a bit of like a vintage postcard feel to it. Just really, really gorgeous warm toning throughout the image. So you can see here, this is Southeast and this is Southwest. Again, as usual, you can go up and you can adjust the profile manually here as well. Super, super nice. And then if I go ahead and show you the black and white, which is AQ094, you can see we've got the North profile with the black and white, and we have Northeast and Northwest. And you can see it just boosts the contrast. It adds a little bit of a vignette around the image there as well, brings the kind of shadows down, and it's a bit more cool toned as well. So you get a lot of flexibility there. If you have a Northeast, you get the sort of more neutral tone in, and Northwest, you get the more cool tone in there as well. Again, you can just drag the profile and set this where you like as well. But having it in these quick tools in the set is super useful. So for this image, I think it's got to be preset 1. And let's have a little look. Southeast. I think Southeast for this looks really, really nice. A good amount of warmth. We're still retaining the color in the greens behind here. Really beautiful skin tones. It looks super nice. Here's the before and here's after. And there is the side by side. I can see the words drooling, dreamy, beautiful. Yes, very, very exciting. This is going to be coming out at the beginning of October for our Quest subscribers. And again, if you get hold of this set and you absolutely love it and you haven't tried Archipelago Atlas presets, well, the goodness just keeps going. You can use your 30% discount that our Quest members get on the Quest members homepage, and you can download this set as well. So you can have Atlas and you can have Quest 09 Atlas Special Edition. So lots and lots of good stuff coming your way. So next up, we've got this image from Maria. This is one of the ones submitted by our community earlier today. So thank you so much for sending this in, Maria. Really beautiful image. And I think exposure level looks good on this. The white balance looks good as well. I don't think I need to adjust that at all. So let's go ahead and take a look at AQ092 on this one. This is a really nice, rich, warm preset. So I think just so that we can get a little bit of contrast back in and bring the exposure down a tiny little bit. And let's take a look at Southeast and Southwest. Super, super nice. I think for this I'm going to go for a manual adjustment. I'm going to set it somewhere around here. That's about 80. And there is the before and after. Absolutely stunning. There's a side by side for you as well. Go ahead and zoom in. Really, really gorgeous. Thank you, Ellie. Ellie says best $8 a month I've spent. 100%. What an incredible price for such incredible presets. Okay, so I've got another image from Maria. I couldn't help but put a couple of her images in. They're so pretty. So I've got this image here, really beautiful couple in the water. We've got the sun behind. Just gonna straighten it up a tiny little touch. And with images like this, it can sometimes be a bit difficult to figure out what the exposure level should be. And just because we've got the sun coming in from behind and they're cast a little bit in shadow. So you'll often find that you'll kind of set it roughly where you think, but you might have to go back and adjust it after you've applied the preset. So I'm gonna go for somewhere around there. Happy, I think, with the white balance, maybe a tiny little bit more magenta in there. But let's take a look at AQ093. Oh yeah, super, super nice. And I think for this, southeast looks really nice. It's a nice balance, bringing in a little bit more warmth, muting the sky down a little bit there as well. But we're just retaining the color in the water down here. So with this being a backlit image, we could go ahead and just dehaze a tiny little bit. So maybe around about there, and just bring the exposure up a little bit more. And that looks really good to me. Here's the before and here's after. Super, super nice. What a gorgeous image. And there is the side by side. Let's go ahead and zoom in. Super nice. Love the reflections. What a cool couple as well. Tattoos. Love it. Okay, and last up, we've got this really gorgeous image here from Valeria, and we're going to use the black and white for this one. So Quest 094. I think in terms of exposure, it might just need brightening a tiny little bit. But the white balance looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and apply AQ094 Atlas SE. And really, really stunning black and white. We've got the north profile here. Let's have a look at northeast versus northwest. I'm going to go for, let's go for northwest, but I'm just going to scale the profile back a tiny little bit. Around there, about 91, looks really nice to me. Here's before, here's after. Maybe bring up the exposure a tiny touch, and that looks super, super nice. There is before, and there is after. And again, there's the side by side. Another incredible black and white preset. So what a great time to sign up if you're not already signed up to Quest. If you sign up now, you can download Quest 8 as part of your subscription. With Quest 8, you're going to get 4 color presets and the Equinox Profile, along with those Diffuse and Specular tools that we looked at as well. And then at the start of next month, our subscribers will be getting hold of Archipelago Quest 09 Atlas SE with the incredible north and south profiles with the adjustments southeast, southwest, northeast and northwest, 3 color and 1 black and white. Absolutely stunning. So excited for these sets to come out. So much great stuff coming your way. So that about wraps it for this stream. Thank you so much for joining. Always love hosting these. Like I said, we do these at least once every month. We always give away a Quest mug or a couple like we did today. Congratulations again to to the winners, as well as just going through and editing with the presets, answering any questions you have about how to use them and get the most out of them. So do make sure to come along next time as well. But that's it for me. Thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you next time.